Hey, everybody, what's up? It is Katrina from NCAP We Trust, and I am doing something a little different this time. I am going to do a reaction video to Insidious 5 The Red Door. And so, if you know anything about me, you know I am a huge horror fan. But even more importantly, Insidious, at least the first one, happens to be one of my favorite horror movies of all time. But before I get into my reaction and the nitty gritty, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and click on the notification button to get any new updates from me and new videos. So yeah, as I was saying previously, Insidious is literally one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I love horror in general, but I fall along the lines more of paranormal type horror movies. I feel like those things are more creepier. And while I'm not somebody who gets scared as other people do, I do like more creepy things, things that's like, oh, okay, a little bit unsettling. And so Insidious is up there with The Conjuring for me as one of my favorite horror movies. I watch Insidious so much that I kind of feel like I now knew it word for word. I have Insidious playing on in the background as background noise, and so it's insane. So here's my reaction to it.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Dalton! Are you ready?
We're ready to forget the further, once and for all. My brain just been foggy past few years. All I ever wanted was to be a good dad.
Dalton.
Mom. Renee.
Did you ever try and get help?
Nah, I'm just trying to push through.
Why don't you drive Dalton to college? You still have a few weeks before your students show up, right? Just an idea to reconnect. I know it's been tough with you too.
The balance of light and dark is what we're after.
You're in the art school, I take it?
Yeah. You go here too?
Yes.
Draw an experience that defines you.
When I was 10, I was in a coma. But I don't even remember being sick.
Sink deep into your memory and let's see what light can find.
I'm seeing crazy stuff.
I think these drawings could be clues from my past.
There's so much you don't know, and I was too scared to tell you the truth.
Our family has been keeping secrets. They suppressed our memories, but I can still feel something following us.
There's only one way to find out.
I feel like I'm getting closer to something. Or something's getting closer to me.
When you awaken the dead, the further you travel, the riskier your journey will become.
Wow, that was okay. So before let me just so I'm a firm believer. Again, I love horror movies, but I'm a firm believer, and also sometimes movies can be dragged. It's why I don't really like the Scream movies too much anymore. It's why I kind of lost faith in the Jason movies or in the Nightmare on Elm Street because I feel like they let it drag a little too long. And I know sometimes these are beloved movies and beloved characters and cult classics, but sometimes franchises get to the head like let's keep making money and not making sure it's good. And so with Insidious 1, we had the power duo that is Lee, who wrote Saw, and James Wan, who directed Saw, and they kind of teamed back up to do Insidious. I thought it was really good. I know people have their, preferences about the lipstick demon because it was like once you kind of saw it in person, it was like, oh, okay, it doesn't look that bad. But and again, I don't get scared easily, and so for me, it wasn't never one of those type of things. But I stand on this that the first Insidious is the best Insidious. The second one was okay. It tied up what happened to Josh, but I felt like that could have been done a little bit better. They if you watch the first series, so again, spoilers if you haven't. I would hope by now you have. But Elise dies in the very beginning, and then we kind of see where she goes in number two, and then three and four. Four being the last key is kind of Elise kind of dealing with her own demons. The third one was before it takes place before the first Insidious, and it kind of says she's also responsible for what happens to Dalton in an extent because she left the red door open. And so then you get to the last key, which kind of deals with her brother, and apparently her dad was abusive, and her nieces, and all this other stuff. And so they were good, but they were not in like first Insidious level great, which again, great background noise for me. And so when I heard it was going to be Insidious 5 and Patrick Wilson, who I did love in Insidious, I mean, he was a bit annoying because, and I say this like how horror movie dads have a habit, horror movie husbands and dads have a habit of not listening to the wives when stuff is going down, and they always late to the party. I'll give Roger from The Conjuring a little bit more credit because he listened to his wife, but Josh needed a couple of punches to the throat because he was doing shenanigans. Okay, and so him directing, and I was like, all right, but even though I still in my favorite movies, and so he's directing, and I'm like, all right, and so it is interesting. I don't know how to feel. I feel like a little conflicted because I did wanted to know what happened with this family, considering that Dalton, the whole premise was not necessarily the house being haunted, but the boy was haunted, and I thought that was a really interesting concept. In horror movies, it's never really been done before, and so it's not like a possession thing. It was just like he was haunted because he wasn't in his physical body, and so for me, super awesome. And so I did want to know what happened. It's been 10 years. And so, there's parts of the scenes, like it shows off in the trailer, that apparently Josh knows that, there's something that happened and he feels like his memory is gone because they did, hypnosis so he wouldn't remember that he could, astral project and astral travel. And so, Dalton. And so I was a little bit iffy. I don't know how I feel, I guess, about him saying that our family keep it secrets from us because look what happened. Look what happened. I mean, and this is more going to be me ranting about the end of Insidious because one of the things that bothered me about Josh when he met with his, the parasite that was following him and everything, he stands there instead of going back to his body. He want to argue with him in the mirror. Why are we doing this? Why are you arguing? Like, I got my son back. I'm safe. Let me get to my physical body so we can move on. But his dumb behind want to sit there, oh, I'm not afraid of you. Oh, I'm not scared of you, blah, blah, blah. And then he wound up getting put in further for a little bit because he was doing these shenanigans. And so I'm like, did we forget? Like, I mean, I know you're kind of sad that it kind of sucks that your family didn't really talk about what happened because it was a very traumatic time. You have your son go into a coma and nobody really knows what. And when they finally found out what had happened, you realize things isn't what they seem. The world isn't as black as white as you see it. And then your husband, or rather you, Josh, is not smart enough to make sure you get back where you were supposed to get back to. And so why Elise did it for the detriment of, it was done rather not Elise, but while her friend did this to kind of help them kind of leave that behind. I understand, like, okay, you feel like, damn, I kind of lost some because I forgot things, but also like, bro, did you forget what happened? Like, you almost went to jail for a murder you technically didn't commit. So, I'm just, let's be realistic. However, it's kind of cool that it's like the fact that him and Dalton doesn't seem close and that they were supposed to spend some time together to rebond. And I'm like, did this situation with them, even though he was the one to go get, Dalton in the beginning, and the second one, Dalton was the one to kind of bring him back, that bond, what happened in the 10 years that the bond changed, that you guys are not close. And so that's an interesting thing I kind of want to see explored, and I hope it didn't do that well. And we see Elise make her appearance. I liked Elise. Elise was doing shenanigans because you are the reason, sis. You are the reason. And so she makes an appearance where she's doing, I'm going to say it's more like archival type footage where she's clearly on video kind of explaining, like, the more you do this, the more dangerous it can get. And if you're somebody who's into the astral projection or astral travel, then sometimes you might bring some stuff back with you. And so, yeah, I'm digging. Like I said, I did want to know what happened with this family. And so I'm excited to see where this goes. I hope it's good. I hope I'm not disappointed because that's one of the things I hate, like being really hyped for a movie. And then I see it, I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's not what I want it to be. And maybe this is me putting too much pressure on myself about things just hitting the way they need to hit. But Insidious was just such a refreshing type of horror movie for me that, and see James Wan's The Conjuring as well. It was just such a refreshing movie for me that I feel like I really want this to do well. And so it comes out in July. And so I can't wait. I am definitely going to go see it. If I can see it early, I want to, but I am definitely going to see it within the week that it opens because, hello, big horror fan. But you guys in the comments tell me what you think about the trailer, your thoughts about the series as a whole. And thank you as always for tuning in. I will catch you next time. Bye, guys.